All right, hello everyone, and welcome back for the final time today to Mr. Cat. It is going to be the playoffs now. Game number 3 of a best of 3 between Warriors Gaming Unity and the Mongols. Game number 1 was so close, so action-packed. Game number 2, Warriors Gaming definitely came back biting and kicking and screaming, and now Mongols and Warriors Gaming looking to take it to a game number 3. Winner of this will be moving up in the bracket. I believe the loser drops down to the lower bracket, and that's going to be not so much fun. So we'll have to see what's coming out on top of this. I'm going to be your caster, Annie, aka Android, and I am being joined once again by Motpax. How you doing, man?
I'm ready. Another Shadow Demon. This time it'll be for Warriors Gaming. Just a very good hero right now. Everyone really liking it. Being able to open up into not only like those combinations with the carries that we already went over a couple times today, but also into some good setups for some additional supports that can maybe open up your pool a bit. And, well, it's the other new flavored meta, and that's the Drow Ranger straight up. Not messing around, just going right into it. Hard to really argue with that these days, it seems.
Yeah, I like her being picked up as this traditional core. I mean, sometimes I think used to seeing her last year as that big old cheesy, like, let's pick all range heroes and drow strat and max precision aura and just barrel into your towers at 16 minutes. But she's being picked up as more of that, typical, I'm going to sit in the back lines, like similar-ish to a sniper's role. Like, just kind of don't mess with me. I need my time to farm. I need my space. And then I'm going to come in and be a big damage dealer rather than that, cheese push. But I like
Yeah.
this combination of Kunkka Shadow Demon as a support duo. I think there's crazy lockdown with those two, and I believe the times that I've seen those two together as the support duo, I've also seen a Terrorblade as a core.
Yeah, more than likely could be coming out here for sure. There's no question. A little bit risky, honestly, just because the Terrorblade would be left for Mongols right now if you wanted to go for that. But there's still plenty of heroes left to deal with. That like Terrorblade and Drow are both very similar in the fact that you can like deal with them kind of equally, just like Bat Rider or something, and he's still in the pool, or even Faceless Void left in, I think, for the first time this series. I believe he was banned in the first two with like the dark. Oh, that might have been our series earlier this morning. But anyway, their bans are very solid from Mongols, especially again the Meepo, but mostly that Invoker. Like combos so well with Shadow Demon Kunkka, and Nana, of course, just absolutely dominating last game. So take care of that Medusa. Not going to allow it. This is your typical, probably the most typical 4-role hero that goes with the Drow lineup. You get the mech for your push, and you get the big AoE control.
Yeah, and Tidehunter should be fairly sustainable on his own, doesn't need a whole lot of resources to hold his lane or to keep himself alive, so definitely a bit more reliable than that Clockwork, who just kind of struggled to find a footing. No real surprise last game. But let's see what Warriors Gaming are gonna do against this. Still need their mid, still need their core. They are gonna go for the Faceless Boy, which was left in the pool, like you pointed out. I like that a lot. Again, similar to Tidehunter, just very stable. You don't really need to invest a lot. But now there's the IO Drow. Oh gosh, I've missed this.
That's spooky. Good thing they banned that Huskar earlier with the
Yeah.
Oracle and IO, but that was definitely the play. So excellent there. But I think it's fair to give this one over to Wings in terms of like someone who really popularized this whole Drow IO like straight up and just doing their thing. Everyone else has been going for it, but in terms of like repeated success with it, Wings is just someone who's been flaunting it left, right, and center. So we'll see how well the relocates go this game. And well, speaking of relocating and moving around the map, I think that Morphling with the Replicate works decently well with the Faceless Void. It's very, difficult to get this farm once again here, but they did it successfully last game on the AM, and we'll see how these Chronos are going to be going. A lot of pressure here, You have to try and find, like, that IO and someone else, right? Because if you don't get the IO, you're going to get the relocate, but now you've also got that False Promise, too, so tough Faceless Void game.
Sorry, cut me mid-yawn. Morphling, I like this pick a lot. Morphling is usually priority banned out. I believe every game today, both series, we've seen him banned out at some point, at least 3 times. But either way, he is going to be a big powerhouse here. Do you think that's enough damage? Like, do you think Warriors Gaming have enough
Yes!
early game?
I was just about to say, they better pick a damn Timber here. I'll be so salty. It's okay. They just needed Timber. Life is fine now. Like, I think they goofed. I think the Mongols definitely should have banned Timber. I think Tinker was not the hero. Like, Tinker and Morphling, come on, guys. What are you thinking here? I guess they're worried about, like, the X-Tinker with the Kunkka or whatever, but this Timber Saw is just fantastic. They have Ravage right now. That's it. Like, that's the only thing. And you have Torrent to hold people in place. You have the Boat to hold people in place. You have the Chrono to hold people in place. There's all this stuff that makes Timbersaw's life so easy. And now they have to find some sort of a core that can be like a frontline tank. But you also kind of wanted something ranged, right? I don't think Luna works here. OD's kind of cool, but what is
IOOD
left in
I've
the pool?
seen have some decent success, but that's also a little bit fragile. Like he doesn't start hitting that hard until late game, so going up in lane against a Timbersaw might be a little difficult.
There's still like a mid bat if you really wanted to. And put the drow in the safe lane, of course. That's actually not too shabby here from the old Mongols. What do they like to run with the drow? I mean, they've done some Shadow Demon, or sorry, Shadow Fiend as well. That'd be kind of clowny. I'd be down for that.
I'd be down for it. I think at this point you just kind of go with whatever's laid out in front of you, and it seems like they need big raw damage. They need something that combos well with an IO. They need a ranged
Probably
hero and a mid.
Varana.
Yeah, that makes more sense. But let's see Shadow Fiend, because why not?
Yeah, I mean, Magic Burst is going to be so good against this Timbersaw. It's decent against the Morphling if you can like actually land that arrow and maybe burst him down before he can morph strength fast enough. Although these days it is so fast.
Although my only hesitation to having a Shadow Fiend here is because there's also a Shadow Demon, so that would make our lives pretty difficult as casters.
True,
Too many
very
shadows.
important. There's also the fact that Shadow Fiend appears to be still quite trash. So
That too, as well.
That's kind of
small
a
factor.
problem. Yeah, not the best.
All right, taking their time here, dipping all the way into their reserve time. You know, we could see that Bristle up again, but like you mentioned, just wanting to get the most out of that Drow Ranger Precision Aura.
Yeah, Bristle. I mean, it wouldn't be the total worst, but
Oh,
we'll go with
hello,
the
Clinks.
instead.
Oh, that's gonna do some damage.
Question is though, who's gonna hold Timbersaw in place so the Clinks can actually do his job? Like he might even see the Orchid build.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think you gotta have that Orchid, especially up against the Morphling early, to make sure he can't schloop on out of there.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Orchid build. Like Clinks is just so much of his presence comes from that early minus armor, either through the Solar Crest or through the Deso, and yeah, you get the control out of the Orchid, but it's so much easier when you just have like a single stunning hero that holds someone in place and just get to use the actual benefits of strafe, you know. But we'll see. Maybe he can skip out on it. Maybe they can sync stuff up enough with the Gust and the Ravage that it'll be just fine. And I do have to favor Warriors Gaming, even though there's a lot of easier execution factors that do come into Mongolz. I think that it's just a well-rounded enough lineup from Warriors Gaming that it's hard to put them on the back foot.
Yeah, I definitely think they got the better out of this draft. I think Clinks was perhaps the best option they could have gone here. It gets the most out of the Drow Precision Aura, lays in a ton of damage, should be hitting an early enough peak to have a nice impact up against later game heroes like the Void and the Morphling, but I definitely think Warriors Gaming just kind of drafted circles around Mongolz here.
All right, we'll see. We shall see.
Yeah, Timber's going to get
you
unkillable.
can snowball, right? Like that's the thing. It can happen. You can get into some sort of a like maybe the offlaner dies a couple times, faces Void Goobs, there's some extra farm on the Drow. They push in, take down like both tier 1 and tier 2 in the bottom lane right away. Big rotation comes in up top, they force Morphling out of the lane. These things can happen. And then suddenly you're just like, whoa, like what just happened this game? I thought they got totally outdrafted. But we're still looking at a Morphling and a Timbersaw, and it is a Drow lineup. So they just need to be cautious on Warriors Gaming, not overextend, respect the fact that it is a Drow lineup still. Maybe even earlier items on a Timbersaw to try and make up for this Morphling wouldn't be the worst idea. Like if he's not totally dominating mid, he might have to go for like that Hood kind of Yule's build.
Alrighty, so Wisp Drow, I mean, it should be pretty strong. Hopefully able to go and sustain himself enough. We've got, where's Clinks laning? This is Wisp Drow mid and Clinks in safe lane, right?
The battle
What's-
I think it's Clinks mid? Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
Clinks mid.
Right.
Yeah,
Alright.
he'll have a better time against the Timber.
Alright. He has, like, actually no regen, though, so he needs to be a bit careful about that. You've got your Wisp hopefully sticking by his side, at least for a little bit. Tidehunter helping out with the block. Picks up an Iron Talon already, so might just bail on this lane and go jungle up a Storm. Now over here we are going to have Wen already having a tough time dealing with this Oracle. Proxy should have a fun time with the Harass.
Yeah, it's like kind of okay, right? I don't know, it goes both ways because your actual Magic Burst is pretty trash, right? Once you actually get into the Purifying Flames, just because Wen loves Burst as Faceless Void,
Oh.
but that base attack time is just disgusting.
Nana actually
Oh,
in a
wow.
lot of trouble here. First blood coming out for the Clinks. There will be a disruption coming back out. They bring the Kunkka smoked up. They will get a torrent, so return kill onto the Aya. Retribution could fall as well. He doesn't have the Shadow Walk. Will get slapped down, so immediate return of damage, but Unity, they're still giving a little bit of a check here. Clinks could absolutely bring a lot to the table, especially level 1 Precision Aura. Hello.
Yeah, that is I would still say a much better trade though, honestly. Just getting these supports so much gold straight up. Like, this can be like boots on both. Like, especially the Kunkka. It's so important for if you want to get these X's off early. And that means that they got the first kill on the Timber, but being in the mid, he's going to get level 3 fast enough. And if you don't kill Timber like twice before level 3 when he's at second point in reactive armor, that's pretty much the end of your killing Timber.
Yep. Down bottom Void. He thinks he's all sneaky here.
He is. I like it. This is good.
They know something's up, but he's just been chilling in this patch of trees for like a minute.
Well, it's not making do because even if they cut into him, he's just going to like go further in the trees. So I guess if he burns like 8 tangos, I think you consider that worth a kill.
Yeah.
Radiant's top
Nana taking a
tower
bunch
is
of
under
damage here
attack.
is going to be grabbing that point in reactive armor.
See
very
Apu
soon.
down here?
Yeah, he's like, where's he at?
He's just chilling next to this Tide Hunter. He's just like, thanks for the experience, bro. This is great. Tide's like counting his experience. Like, wait a second. What's going on here? Something is up.
Age-old lore battle here. Kunkka Tide. Who was left,
Oh,
he was
God,
right.
This is so funny. He's just taking all of it. He might even torn Elastic if he gets vision. Yeah, he should. I can't tell if he can see it or not because it's a damn vision bug. I don't think you can see the creeps, just the Tide.
There's a ping, so Tide's like, hey, someone's stealing my experience. I want something out of this. Meanwhile, there's going to be a rotation into the mid. They do bring in the Shadow Demons. Maybe they can go for Disrupt on the Wisp again. But just walk out. Kunkka strolling back on through. Will get scattered up by the Oracle finally, so may have to pay the ultimate price for his crimes. Gonna be trying to path himself away. Nice blocking in. I don't know if that was intentional by the Oracle or not, but just obnoxious as Afu is going to go take that little, take that Q. But
Radiant's top tower.
Oh, he's
is
drawn
under
away from
attack.
bottom, which is really nice for Wen, just because he's so far away from an Iron Talon here that he just can't go jungle with only a 4-man shield and tangos, right? So you're gonna buy a TP scroll because there's no stuns, and you can just stay down here as long as you can.
Alright, we haven't talked a whole lot about top lane, but free farming Morphling, that's a bit terrifying. Tidehunter is going to opt to hop back up to the top lane to at least contest a little bit of the farm going the Morphling's way, but Morph had just a fantastic start sitting at the top of the last hit chart, and I mean Drow Ranger kind of on their level, like has a lot of denies. Now mid lane we are going to have some poison sprayed out, there will be disruption as well. They get the lift up onto the Clinks. The regen from the Wisp I don't think it's going to be enough, but Shadow Demon falling down very, very low is going to get killed off. That's going to be a fantastic pick, at least getting Mongolz some experience for their troubles, but they do end up losing their beloved Clinks once again.
Yeah, now that's going to mean Bottle and almost Brown Boots here for Nana. He'll probably wait till he gets one more last just to pick those up too. And then he's going to be a real force to be reckoned with here in the mid lane. Should be able to contest runes decently with Shadow Demon and Kunkka. I think that would be a really good use of their time, honestly, just because Morphling, again, relatively easy time against the Tidehunter, who's probably dead right now.
I don't know. He's tanky. Yeah, he's dead.
but Shadow Demon
He's the
Kunkka.
most dead. Yeah, that's going to be a very, very dead Watermelon. He's walking his
actually
way
no
back
soul
on
catcher.
through. They've got the X back on in. Do they have enough damage to cut through this Kraken shell? They bring in the IO. Oh, he's regenning. Do they actually have enough? The Shadow Poison not going to be doing the work. He gets out alive. Thank you, Star. Coming back in. The TP, the Tether definitely got the job done.
Yeah, I hadn't realized Shadow Demon was only level 2. Not quite getting. I mean, Kunkka obviously soaking quite a bit though, so that gank is much harder without your Soul Catcher being up and online early on. So nicely played there by the IO to make sure he gets the save, just barely too. So definitely worth the rotation. Would not have lived without him. And bottom lane, speaking of low levels, Wen still desperately trying to get up to level 4.
Yeah, I mean, he needs that chrono. That's going to be super utility. I think if he's able to go through and trap a couple buddies in that chrono, that's going to be a big comeback for Warriors Gaming, and that's what's going to be the pause button on this Drow strat, making sure that no one gets a nice farm, making sure that Nana's able to go and be unkillable, because only having one death is alright now for the Timbersaw. Nice early kill. He got a big warning about what this Clinks is able to do, but since then he's played very safe.
Yeah, I like that Wen actually, and you know, as sad as it is, the fact that he didn't go for the Iron Talon early on because he's not getting anything down the bottom lane, there's also not a single right click onto this tower, which is pretty huge because it's very important, again, to control this area as the dire side versus Drow. And you really don't want them to sneak this Roche with a Clink's Drow. It could just be instantaneous, so every little bit of control that you can keep down here is going to keep you in this game, and we all understand just how much they need the little slightly later stages for Warriors Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Kunkka still being a pest. Look at that. He's trying to take out Tide's farm once and for all. Not able to go and get any sort of blockages here,
Dire's
but
bottom tower
alright,
is under
Kunkka just
attack.
going and making sure these Ancients don't stack. He's just being an all-out jerk to the Radiant.
Yeah, it's kind of like Earth Spirit in some ways, just the way that, you know, if you can't quite make a big impact on a lane, you just kind of stalk around in the jungle because you feel relatively safe. And it's kind of the story of Afu this game. Looks to pair up with a couple cores every once in a while, but other than that, just trying to get free experience where you can. Time to do our annual Morphling check here. Looks like it will be just Link and Spurs, pretty standard stuff in terms of Free Fire and Morphling. And Drow Ranger keeping pace though, just barely behind, about 130 gold here. But she can get up to some good items, already get her treads, plenty of agi stacked up. And we're still not quite at that chrono.
Yeah, it's going to take Wen a little bit more time, but I think once it comes out, as long as he can secure a kill with that first chrono, absolutely worth all the suffering he went through in this laning phase. And, you know, all you got to do is make sure Oracle's out of the picture. If you get down the Drow, that could be awesome as Unity. They need to make sure they rotate enough resources. They are going to have a big smoke up. Void, oh, he wants that level 6. Won't be able to have it for this next fight, but there should be some blood spilling nonetheless. We'll see if they're able to get a big lockdown here. Oracle, always a nuisance, but Oracle himself is only going to be level 5, so there's no ultimate coming out on him.
Wow, they send no one mid.
They go the Gust, and that's going to be a big turn onto Zaki. Zaki going to take those Wisp Spears to the phase. Self-disruption coming out as Saka is going to be going down here. They will end up cutting out the Drow Ranger. They lose the Shadow Demon. They're looking for more, though. They are going to have Afu. He doesn't have that X. He does have the Torrent, though. A little bit off the mark. Oh, God, they got it. They're cutting down the trees. They do end up getting proxy. That Wisp comes in just trying to save his buddy. Does end up getting at least a little bit of heal coming out, but is it going to be enough? The stick doing some serious work as Nana actually the one taking the Purifying Flames. That big nuke down is going to hurt, but I don't think Timbersaw's in any real danger here. When though, oh my god, he wants this chrono so bad. He needs like 2 more creeps, but he will end up getting plucked off by the Oracle. Oh man, the Oracle pays with his life, but still so happy with that engage.
Yeah, so in the end, I guess that favors Warriors Gaming. I mean, according to the chart, it does, but it was also a lot of rotations. A lot of farming for the Clinks was still in the mid lane. Actually, he just ran us all the way down and didn't get anything, so I guess, yeah, definitely going to favor Warriors Gaming then. But couple odd things. I actually like the fact they came down before Chrono's there, because once level 6 actually is on the Faceless Void, you expect that smoke, like 100%. The second you see people missing and Chrono's up, you know what they're going to do. They're looking to come down and accelerate their Faceless Void by giving him that help with the Timbersaw. But coming a little bit early, I think caught them off guard. They might have thought Timber was just like clearing out a stack or something. Unfortunately, they didn't get the clean sweep they wanted.
Down bottom, we are going to have a big push coming up. You've got Clinks, you've got Drow ready to unleash their damage. Faceless Void, he still needs a couple of creeps. Hey, there he goes, 2 more. Get it. No, not yet. So either way, they are going to lose their tower, and there's no real follow-up here. Faceless Void, oh, just out of experience range. As the Dire, they're kind of grouping up, but not really getting a whole lot done. There is still Morphling free farming, which is fantastic. Faceless Void will finally get his level 6. He picks up that Chronosphere. He's ready to go, ready to jump. But it looks like the Radiant have picked up on the memo. They're going to be backing off as a group. They're sitting here in the trees. They're waiting. They've got their Ravage online.
Great wards too.
But they are going to go back and opt to defend against this push in from the Morphling, who's just got half a Lincoln's right now.
Alright, perfect. Good drought and lineup execution. Unfortunately, there might be a couple stragglers caught here. Ooh, misses the tree, unfortunately. Won't be able to provide the shock room slow. They can get the X still. They can fight, still Ravage.
Yep. Let's see if Kunkka wants to go through. Oh god, we got the Void. It will finally clip
Really nice
onto the Tidehunter. Yeah, it looked like it could have been a whiff, but they did get their prey in the end. But the Ravage to turn things right around. So Void, staring at the footsteps of his creation, does end up dropping down, and that's going to be a double kill as Shadow Demon, the only one to really escape with his life, able to TP back, and that's a bit unfortunate. Faceless Void really wanted to get something done with that first Chronosphere, but that's going to be a big cooldown, 100 more seconds, and dead Timber. I didn't think Timber would be dying this much.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that you're forcing this Timber to rotate out way earlier than he wants, and he also went 3 points reactive armor, which makes you think like, oh well, then why is he dying so much? But he just doesn't have like the damage to actually kill people, and so he just like it takes too long, you know. You want to rotate this early.
They got the Gust here. Wen spawns up, immediately brought back down to the grave. He had Time Walk, but the Gust, it just kept him silenced up for slightly too long.
Why are they still fighting this?
Why are they still
Stop fighting
remotely here? Why? Go home.
I guess they're trying not to give this up to a Drow lineup, and it might end up working. It's just they're a little bit too aggressive. Like instead of using the towers as defense, they're fighting in this like middle ground for unknown reasons.
I mean, they're still going. Drow Ranger just juking away these Chalkums like it's nothing. She's got herself a completed Dragonlance if she wants to fly it into herself, and this is... it's just so much aggression coming out from Mongolz, and they can absolutely support it. It's not like they're just going way too YOLO and diving too deep. They know exactly what they're capable of, and they haven't really been giving up a lot here.
Yeah, Clinks has even moved up top now to try and like slow down this Morphling too. Just try and give him a little bit something to think about. Morphling, he's almost into that Lincoln Sphere. Just about up into that, so just the recipe to go. Can already afford the Ultimate Orb. And I don't know, it is really good they saved this tower. So in all fairness, it does work out. Maybe a couple more kills than they would have liked, but trying to keep some semblance of control over this Roche Pit, again, it is like extremely important. If they'd Aegis right now, like all the towers in mid and bot would just be gone.
Dire's top tower is under
Alright, so
attack.
Klink's finally laying in some damage here. He's got himself his Strife if he wants to plop that down. He is going to go for that Orchid build like you talked about in draft, and I know you're not a fan of it, but I think it's like the only choice here.
Dire's
Yeah, it's
top
a
tower
situational
has
choice. It
fallen.
makes
Oh,
sense.
the dust
Never
though!
mind.
They've got the disruption. They are going to bring in the boat. Everything dropped onto the spooky skeleton man, and he's going to be falling down to the grave once more. Meanwhile, tower trade down
Dire's
bottom.
tower
I mean,
has
Klink's
fallen.
got a tier 1, but he gives up his life, and he's making space.
Yeah, that's honestly worth it. I think for the Radiant side, like it's still a good pick for the Dire, and it's still a good
Radiant's
play.
top
But
tower
overall,
is
I don't think
under
Warriors
attack.
Gaming are too concerned about it. And next will be that mid lane. And I mean, with the Drow, right, with all the right clicks, even from an Oracle, just because his base attack time is so absurd, it makes Drow aura like ridiculous. On him.
Suddenly a zillion rotations. We are going to have a Tidehunter replicate plopped out. Ajit has something to jump to if things get rough. There will be that Ravage and Silence there. He can't jump to the replicate. He's morphing strength for all he's worth. Will he be able to get out of the way? He will. He hops right
Radiant's
back
top
through.
tower is
Frost
under
Arrow
attack.
dodged out, and that's going to be a Morphling surviving within an inch of his
Radiant's top
life,
tower
but not
has
going
been
down
denied.
nonetheless.
Yeah, it's such a hard kill to get, honestly. Closer than I would have expected, to be honest, but not so much anymore. Lincoln Sphere now going to be done here, and they'll start putting their pressure up into that top lane, though. This is the Drow Ranger draft doing its thing. And are we going to get a little bit of a play here from the Dire? They're going to smoke up and go for something. Looks that way. Timber looking to build into that Bloodstone.
Yeah, I'll have it
Don't
up
have a
fairly
replicate,
shortly.
unfortunately.
Well, yeah, they just used it.
Yeah, it just means you can't, like, you know, classic smoke up with everybody.
All right, let's see if they're
Dun,
going to
dun,
touch
dun.
this illusion rune.
It's a good time with Ravage being down, though.
Oh, illusion rune goes down. Looks like Radiant have no vision of that, and they are going to get a nice surprise here. Kunkka, his smoke
Oh,
pops.
no.
Oh, they walk right into the Klinks.
Oh,
They
that's
get the
much
dust
better.
immediately. Yeah, that's exactly what they want here. They are going to bring in some damage, as there is going to be enough of an
Oh,
ult.
it's hesitating.
Void, hit R. Hit R, son. Hey, there you go. Fantastic play. Morphling is going to waveform into the Chronosphere, allowing for a great setup of everything, but that's not going to be enough to go down. And they are going to have the Ravage offline. 60 seconds, no Ravage. And this is going to be the Dire. They're going in. They're controlling up the Radiant. All of a sudden, it could be a full wipe here. Tidehunter currently the lone survivor, but he's getting low. There will be the X marks the spot back on in. Anchor smashes and whatnot, but not going to be enough to save his life. As Shadow Demon, the only
Radiant's
casualty for
middle
Warriors
tower
Gaming
is
Unity.
under attack.
Yeah, and that all comes because they
Radiant
burned
structures
Ravage
are
trying to kill the Morphling. Like, you get the kill on the Morphling, this play probably doesn't happen. I don't think they would have been so aggressive there, but the fact that they weren't able to get it, it's huge.
Radiant's middle
So,
tower
really
has
big
fallen.
counterplay coming here from Warriors Gaming. And when you win a fight, when faces Void Chronos more of your allies than
Radiant's
enemies,
middle
that's generally a
tower
very
is
good
under
sign
attack.
in terms of how the game's going. So, good stuff, I suppose.
Yeah, in terms of overall net worth, it is going to be still in favor of Mongolz by about 2,500, but that's going to even right back out as we look at the overall XP. Now going to be about 3,000 in favor of Unity, so that's going to show in terms of your levels. You've got your Morphling already up at level 12 just because of the freedom he was given, and now down bottom, Oracle. Oh, he's panicking. You can feel that panic. He goes in with the mech. He's going to be slapped around, controlled around. Time dilation in. Don't really even need it as there's going to be a TP cancelled. And this tier 1 should end up falling. And that means big control over the Roche Pit because tier 1 mid and tier 1 bottom will be
Radiant
hopping down.
structures are fortified.
Yeah, that's
Radiant's
really
bottom
saying like
tower
close out
is
that
under
window
attack.
of like free roast for Mongols now too. Just because like Ravage is back online, but now we can't go in there because there's going to be the boat
Radiant's
up on the
bottom
Kunkka.
tower
We're going to
has
go
fallen.
some really high levels in the Shadow Poison now because he's level 7 being spammed into the pit. And now even our Timbersaw just having more mana in general. Like all these things combined together have just made like the whole Roche idea just like out the window it goes. So Warriors Gaming. This all comes back to again the fact that this Morphling was just complete another total free farm, right? He's got a Ghost Scepter and he's actually surprisingly far on his way up to that Eagle Song. He's just completely negating treads.
Yeah.
Bots.
Screw boots. As Sanke, there's going to be a relocate coming out, but oh, All right, Ravage just to stall
That's
things
not
out.
good.
That was a Ravage without any follow-up. That was like a threat Ravage, but that means all Unity have to do is kind of fake back, reset, and they can definitely reinitiate on this. There's nothing else there to stop them.
Yeah, and it's so long too, the cooldown on Ravage, that they're even happy just like leaving this area. They just want to give them absolutely nothing off of this. Any of these rotations, they just want to push back out that mid lane.
Timbersaw in a little bit of trouble, gets gushed up. They've got something coming down as Morphling coming back in. Anchor Smash to finish the job as Tidehunter does get a kill. But now Faceless Void. He could be trying to punish the Tidehunter here. He's super, super tanky. Okay, there's going to be a Chrono coming back in. Connects onto 2. Do they go for the Wisp? Do they go for the Tidehunter? They're just going for both. Yeah, that's going to be a Morphling coming in. Dominating streak out for him. Can he get this kill as well? Can he make it a double? Meanwhile, Clinks doing some serious work, though. Will get the kill onto the Shadow Demon. Now, Ajit is going to go in. Lincoln Sphere goes. Scepter popped out. They're looking for something here, but I think this is Mongolz not giving away too much. Very well played from them.
Yeah, Chrono basically, I mean, only getting an IO kill. I'm pretty happy with that. If I'm on the side of the Mongols, that's another cooldown that they can now themselves work around, and this might be a window for Roche. If only they had the Ravage. That's so disappointing. Just once again, like not quite getting that sync up, and a little bit of a miscommunication. I'm gonna save you, and I'm gonna save you, and those two saves
Everyone
not working
saves
out well
each other,
together.
yeah.
Ends up kind of screwing over that possible fight for them. So the clock is still ticking on this Morphling.
Mid lane, we've got a pretty deep dive from this Timber. He's going to go through, get stunned, or rather purged off by the Oracle. Held in place for a little bit, taking a couple last clicks, but he's alright. He's got himself the makings of his Bloodstone pretty soon, hopefully. Maybe? Looks like he's going to stop
went back
for
to the
Yules.
Yules.
Yeah.
Yeah. That silence too good from the Drow, and then the Orc as well.
Alright, so in terms of overall net worth here, we are going to be kind of planning out 2,500 in the advantage of Mongolz, but definitely a very, very even game here. I think this Morphling, like we mentioned in the laning phase, was just completely unchecked, so it comes down to, can Mongolz stay clumped up? Can they just kind of plow through heroes with their Drow damage and Clink's damage and Wisp regen? Or is Warriors Gaming Unity just going to beef up too much to deal with that?
I don't know, it's hard. Like, Ravage is what, 5 seconds away, so. Oh, Clinks, maybe he's enough for full damage. You really wish he had some better global potential. Like, Io just not quite fast enough.
Alright, Kanka,
Yeah,
he's
looks like
got
it's gonna
himself
be
a
enough.
dust. Not gonna pop it out. We'll just get melted away. Alright.
Yeah, no turnaround play, honestly. Don't think it would be worth wasting it, but that should be mid-tower? Yeah, Tide's here, so that's fine. Blink Dagger
Dire's
online.
middle tower is under
Not very
attack.
spooked if I'm the Radiant side.
So Clinks is going to pick himself up a Dragon Lance, which I do like. I think that adds a lot of
Dire's
raw stats
middle
to him and makes him a little bit
tower has
stronger. When do you think we see the upgraded Orchid?
Probably not like till very last. It's not enough
Radiant's
extra
bottom
value
tower
for the
is
cost.
under attack.
Definitely, I agree. Definitely getting the Dragon Lance is very good right here. Being stuck inside Chrono, being up against Timbersaw, you really just want as much tankability as possible. So that'll be pretty handy for him. Next, he'll probably need the BKB. After that, well, he still needs Deso too, so we're a ways away from Bloodthorn, I think.
Alright.
Sad
well,
as it is.
either way, Drow Ranger grabs herself an Aegis. There will be a full smoke rotation in as Kunkka. He grabs a bit of prey. Is going to be able to go through, grabbing up the Oracle. A nice hero to get down first if you can find him. But he's still got himself an ultimate, so I don't really know if that's going to be the easiest target to pick off. Meanwhile, Shadow
I want
Demon.
to see this E-Blade.
Shadow Demon! Shadow Demon! Oh, lordy. That's going to be 3 heroes caught up by the Ravage. There is going to be a Void catching out 3 in the Chronosphere, but where's the damage? Going to be going waveforming up. Oh, nice positioning by the Morphling. Looks like Retribution, though, just taking too much survivability. They really can't do anything here as Morphling goes, kites his way around the trees. Meanwhile, there will be the Aegis backup. Drow Ranger will respawn. They lose the Void in the back lines. And now Drow,
on earth is happening?
she's looking for more. This is going to be a big turnaround. They do end up losing the Oracle. All right. Please calm down, Drow Ranger. There's no time to get back to the Replicant. The Gust is too fantastic. Silence is winning this game. There will be a...
Why? What? Alright, I don't know why. Why didn't he E-Blade the Io too? Like he adaptive struck the Io and then he E-Bladed the Drow, but the Io was in range of the E-Blade.
I think that was a panic moment. I think that was like, oh god, the buttons. I just
And
want
then like so jacked up to come fight with your E-Blade that he doesn't have a replicate
Radiant's
running out.
bottom tower
I think
is
it had
under
already
attack.
expired was the issue. And so he couldn't even like go. I mean, of course the silence was there from Drow anyway, so maybe he wouldn't have been able to find it had he even had one. But Just really well played by Mongolz. In the end, perhaps some mistakes from Warriors Gaming, but certainly not taking anything away from them. They've now like fully solidified their control over here. And top lane, that whole entire dire area should be theirs for the taking. They want to go press their luck into there with some wards.
Alright, so this is shaping up to be a very even game. It seems like every time you knock Mongolz down, they come back even stronger.
What about Nana? Can he save the game? His Invoker last game, pretty much dominating quite a bit of that. A lot of split push, a lot of lane control.
He's definitely not feeling as impactful as that Invoker. Like, no one's quaking in fear at the big robot man cutting down trees. But he's got himself a decent KDA, like good kill participation. He's got himself a Yules. He's got himself the makings of a Soul Booster. So able to go into that Bloodstone soon. But I don't know. He feels like he's still just having big mana problems. Maybe that'll stack up with more Bloodstone charges. But he's not, like, unkillable, unchaseable Timbersaw at this point.
No, hopefully they can get a couple good fights. It's kind of an awkward Timbersaw game because you often look towards that hood, right? And just feeling so tanky with that. He'll probably have to just go for a casual plate mail into an eventual Shiva's guard to try and help out against this lineup because it's a ton of physical damage just in between the Drow Ranger and the right clicks from the Clinks and the even just like Anchor Smash being spammed on top of you too.
Alright, so we've got everyone up in each other's territory here, just like a no man's land, don't cross the river. But for now, everyone just sitting back, relaxing, getting their farm up. We're going to have Kunkka just going, finishing off those drums. Still got 2 charges left. And now, bottom tower taken out. They're looking for a trade up top. I don't think there's going to be rotations back from Unity. They're not that suicidal. They may go for a tier 3 push here, in fact. That will be the play. They're going to be spawning out some more illusions of that Morphling, so hitting nice and hard. And now they do break that back to a protection with these creeps. This is going to be a game of chicken. There will finally be rotations back from the Kunkka. And now big rotations back from Mongolz. They get the silence off. Ajit in some serious trouble. The Ravage coming in. There's going to be the Ghost Scepter coming through. And it looks like Morphling could be in some deep doo-doo. Has the replicate hop back. Get out of there, buddy. There we go.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. That damn head, it like blocks the number. All right, I'm blaming that. That's my excuse.
What,
That's my sad excuse for
the big old like
forecasting.
siren head?
Yeah, I didn't even notice there was like a timer still above his noggin.
Yeah, it's I don't know. All of Morphling's sets seem really forced to me. Like, he just seems like a character that shouldn't have items.
Well, it's kind of depressing that everything he has to be resolved around E-Blade because it's like the only item that makes this hero a hero. Poor guy. Yeah, where are the arms though? Like, come on.
What?
Can you not wear like the E-Blade arms?
I like those are the only cosmetics I like. The ones that make him like shoot the E-Blade. All right, Clinks goes in. Nice Yule's reaction there from Nana, trying to go outlive it. They will go in with the Chronosphere, popping out the Chakrams. Do they actually have the lockdown node? Do they have the vision? I don't know. No, they don't. All right, Tidehunter joins the party.
Okay.
They know he has no Ravage. He's going to get slowed up there, and will get dragged up by the Torrent. This would be a great boat. Kunkka. Captain. No, okay.
Alright, well, they get out. I mean, they waste Chrono, unfortunately, but Ajit, he's still a Morphling. He's still split pushing like mad. He still doesn't have his boots of travel. In fact, he's saving up pretty hard. Looks like it'll probably just be a BKB, double defensive build. Try and get those back lines and deal with some of these heroes.
And look at Chris go. This structure is doing so much work. He's able to go and take out. There will be that time dilation popped out, so when doing something, they're leaving it back up to high ground. But it seems like Mongolz, they are more than content to go through and siege. They will get this lockdown. Nana is going to be silenced up and might be in some serious trouble. There's going to be a torrent coming in. Sanke needs some help there. BKB, though. Oh, man, that's going to be the racks just taken apart. Look at these things go, and that's before the Clink starts laying into him. Nana wants to help, really wants to do something. The Bloodstone charges, though, they're going to be dwindling as he will end up falling here, most likely. There's the Yules to buy some time, but when? Still no Chrono. Nice gust from Sanke, who's going to get torrented up as well. There's the Shocklamp from the Morphling trying to do some help, but
nice
Oracle. Oh man, this guy is a player. There will be a zip on in. Wen gets a nice lucky bash on the Tidehunter, who can still turn and fight this. Meanwhile, on the backlines, Clinks still mega killing up. They're trying to get the kill onto the Morphling. Clinks will end up going down.
I still has relocate save, so Drac can be
look at that gust coming out. Sanke is going to be completely fine.
Why is my Drow running?
I mean, because the courier was just parked out in front. Not really sure. It's like the call was to disengage, but Mongolz didn't actually think through like how they get everyone back without dropping their heroes here, so they end up losing a couple at the end of that fight. Wisp still running away, should get bashed up. Nope, no RNG.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, well, successful defense. Unfortunately, they did lose the melee racks, so it's kind of a wash in the end, I suppose. But it might be enough to kind of grant a little bit of momentum back towards that Dire side. Our Morphling, did you end up buying anything yet? No, wow, 4.9k. So I assume it'll still just be the BKB, but we'll see. And what about our Roche timer here? 1 more minute. And unless it's like an immediate spawn, there should be enough of a pushback here from the Mongols that they can have a decent shot at contesting this.
Oh, it's going to be a Manta for the Morphling.
Oh, yeah, that's fine too. I'm okay with that. Eventually going to get it anyway, I suppose. So
I'm glad it has the
pick it up
mod pack
now.
seal of approval.
Yeah, no problem. I got you, Ajit. It's fine. I think it's just better than Scotty this game because the silence is not too. I know, shocking, guys. Wow, such analysis. Turns out Manta's good versus Drow and Klink's Orchid. You're all welcome. Saving your pub games.
You know, next time I'm in a pub with a Drow and a Klink's Orchid and a Morphling, I'll let you know.
Yeah, no problem. But how's Nana doing? He's got 6 charges left. That's still decent for farming. He still have a pretty good time. What is it? 18 mana regen. You know, you love having like 16 and 20 charges and just like full out spam every single spell and you never seem to run out. But this is still fine. It's way better than having like 1 or 2 and you're just kind of like considering selling it or something. Have to pick up like a casual Void Stone.
What's the most stacked Bloodstone you've seen?
I want to say there was like a 60 Tinker or something like
Jesus.
2 years ago.
Holy crap.
There was something absurd. I can't remember what it was. It was some crazy high number.
That's dumb. I think
Yeah.
I've seen like a 32 Storm, but that was it.
Unfortunately, it's one of those things that I don't think is parsed. So like there was never like a record of it on Dat Dota, unfortunately.
Dat Dota lets you down once again, man.
Yeah, I know.
Alright, smoke into the Roche pit here from the Radiant. They want to get something done, but the Dire are very nearby. This could be very scary. Looks like they're grouping up for a smoke of their own. Or at least a rotation in.
Yeah, and it's this early Roche too, so who has the vision advantage here? No one really.
Oh, I got this replicate. Get out of
They
there.
even knew it was a replicate too. It's
Yeah.
nice of them.
Glad they didn't
Reading
like dump
that.
a Ravage on that. That would have been a big whoopsie. Now
Oh, it's
scan.
hard not to,
Oh,
though.
the scan from the Dire reveals that the Radiant heroes are right at the ready, and they're going to be going in time dilation from Wen. Just trying to force out some spells. There will be the Ravage connects onto 3, but they can follow this up with an amazing chrono if they're able to go in and get in there in time. There will be a Yule's up from the Timbersaw. They end up dropping down the Kunkka. Void. He loses his life. He's not able to chrono. They will be getting down the Timbersaw as well. This is going to be Mongolz getting a huge advantage here. They can't break this TP, but they should be able to go Roche very, very cleanly and push high ground off of this.
Yeah, at the very least, the ultimates will still be here from the Dire side, like Chronosphere. Probably the most important one, of course, so we'll see if they can hold up on that high ground, but a giant win for the Radiant side ends up being, 2,600 gold swing, plenty over to that Klinks too. He's going to have his own BKB now. Oh, this is so scary.
Oh, this is terrifying.
Ooh.
Wisp, though. Oh, that's a shotgun star, but still not able to get the job done.
Yeah, he needs to save his escape, or else he's just going to end up dying. So a wise play there by Ajit. Just looks pretty depressing.
All right, so we'll see if Tidehunter's able to go in again. He doesn't have Ravage, so that makes the high ground push a little bit trickier. But Klinks with that Desolator, man, he just hits so hard. There is going to be the Chrono. It does catch out the Klinks. They've got the Chakram rolling through. They will be able to take out the Oracle.
That's pretty huge.
That is
False
huge.
Promise
There's
huge.
less save coming in, but they are able to turn immediately onto the Shadow Demon. Klinks, he's going to be BKB'd up. He's just fighting with his last breath. He will eventually get plopped down. That's going to be big. He doesn't have buyback for 70 seconds. This is the Dire's time to shine. They actually get the lucky bash here. Tidehunter TP is cancelled. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Should be cleaned off here. He's going to go
Still
and pop his
chasing
wand.
Drow down here, too.
Oh man, that lucky bash once again. Tidehunter is so gosh darn hard to kill. Can he actually get this with the Anchor Smash? Oh man, one more gush and Faceless Void could just be gonzo.
Bottom down here, Drow. She was dust, yeah. She got Yules. She tried to go with the gust plays, but she's got Yules up in the air. So nicely done there. And as you said, Tidehunter surviving, and oh, he bought out too.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Oh
attack.
man, he's got a cute little refresher orb coming out for himself pretty shortly. Now that fight recap, I don't know if it really catches everything that went down there, but big swing in favor of Unity. They dropped their Void right at the start, which is unfortunate, but they were able to get a Chrono, lock the Clinks down just a little bit in place, long enough for his team to react to that. So in terms of overall net worth, it's going to be about 10,000 in favor of Mongolz now. Overall experience, less so, but still in the Mongolz' favor. Now double drop here. Let me make sure we're not having anything crazy go down, but hopefully they're able to reconnect. Oh god, they're dropping like flies.
One at a time here. Someone's not happy. Take care of that. But no, that was great. The fact that you get the Oracle first, we talked about it, very difficult to do. He's got his little Glimmer Cape going. He's got his Guardian Greaves. He's hard to handle. But focusing on him, Chrono only on one, and the fight still goes that well. Pretty happy about that. And we still haven't really seen that big Wombo combo, you know, into like Chrono into Boat, even with like some Soul Catcher action happening there. That Clinks and that Drow should have melt though, considering the defensive items they've been picking up.
All right, we are back in. The action is going here. Found my mouse. I lost it for a little bit, but it's all good now. This is our 6th hour of casting. We might. Oh, Tidehunter missed the Force Staff. He's gonna get disrupted up. He tried to go across the gap, but he just slightly misangled it. He goes immediately for the TP. Can he get plopped down in the base? Will he get dropped? The poison stack's not going to be enough. All right, he's alive. Count as lucky stars, though.
Yeah, he is super close. He can even sell Iron Talon. Oh, you know, he just
They
did.
get the X. All right. Goodbye, Wisp.
No, rest in pepperonis there, but it's okay. It's not the worst kill. At least for the, for the Radiant side, they're all right with their IO dying. Just need to farm up this Refresher here on the Tidehunter. And it'll be time to start looking towards the enemy base. I don't think you can wait till the next Roche. I don't think that's in the Radiant's plans.
So, like, do you think that the Morphling is just too big to be able to do that?
Yeah, he's too spooky. Like, yeah, I just want to win this game now and try and get this over with. I think they still have the advantage. I mean, yeah, they have about by 8k, but that is going to continue to keep going down and down.
All right, Kunkka with the gem. He's got clean little eyes and the Clinks here, so that's going to be a nice big advantage for Unity if they can hang on to that gem.
Yeah, I think they know that the Radiant are looking to push and end this sooner rather than later. I don't think they're going to be happy just being complacent. So getting these gems out here, just going to try and eliminate a lot of that vision, make it harder for them to do so. Be interesting to see if they spot this Refresher at all. I think Ty did reveal up top with the Perseverance, so they should know it's not Lotus Orb. Don't think that would be the item this game. And we'll have to keep their eye on him.
All right, Clanks with 2k gold. He's only got like 500 on top of buyback, so I don't think he can buy out here, but I think he's probably tempted to go for his next item, which, I mean, do you think we're going to see like Hurricane Pike? Like, what's he doing next?
I don't know. Him and the Drow just kind of both in that awkward space, right?
Yeah, they got to make a decision pretty soon. We are going to have the Morphling going in. They want to start unloading on this. Ravage popped out. Relocate coming in. They are dropping no expense for this, but the Replicate, he's completely fine. He's back at base. They couldn't keep him locked down long enough. You talked about that weakness over back in the draft, and that's really coming back to bite them in the ass, and that's going to be a relocate out there. At least bring the Clinks away safely. They're most likely going to have to lose their Oracle here. They do have another Why? All right. It's going to be a Chrono. What a massacre coming down here as there are just going to be bodies dropping left and right. They bring back in the Clinks. He's doing so much damage. Nana taking it, is able to Timber Chain away, but the Frost Arrow is keeping him nice and slowed up. They're looking for more. The Morphling wants to be able to zone him back, and now that's going to be Nana coming back on through. Silenced up. I don't really know what you can kind of get done here. Zip onto the high ground as it looks like the rest of Unity should be able to escape.
Okay, well, tough fight coming up, though. I mean, both supports down. Okay, one support on the Radiant side now. IO Venture's a little bit too close for a ward. Timber? What, Timber?
Oh. All right, Yule's up, but now we've got a bunch coming out of here. There's going to be a Tidehunter now. No Refresher, no Ravage coming through, and that's going to be Morphling getting pretty far out here. Has another Replicate to hop back to if things get hairy. There will be a Timber Chain on in. They do want to get this down. They do have the Diffusal here onto the Drow Ranger. She can't afford to go down here. They will get her down. She does have buyback if absolutely necessary. And at the Clinks, he's ghost up. He wants to fight. He's going to get slow. Mana is burning. They've got the boat coming back on in. Kunkka, he's trying to do what he can. Now Tidehunter, one of the lone survivors, trying to force staff him through this camp. They bring in the Void, blinking after him, chasing after him. There will be that X marks the spot to keep him held in place. The Torrent, he can't react to this. He's so tanky, but it's not going to be enough. He ends up going down. Double kill now for the Morphling. What the hell was that fight, Mobpax?
Oh, I don't think anyone's gonna be able to decipher that one. That was a interesting double Ravage attempt. Good chrono though. Came in there from the Faceless Void, locked down that Drow Ranger, make sure a lot of that damage wasn't coming out. But it was relatively awkward. Like, you want that Ravage to be your siege engine, right? You want to like walk up to that base, at least with one of them. But cracking both of them out there in the jungle and only getting the 2 supports, it's a pretty low percentage chance that's gonna help you win out this game. And Morphling just, I get like these Ravages, they're so optimistic and trying to bring down this Morphling.
Yes.
There's no scythe yet on the Clinks, and that should have been his item. I think, like, I don't know about the Deso, but maybe you need the damage. Maybe that Dragon Lance is just one of those items that ended up not really paying off in terms of the overall control. It has to be a scythe next if they're even still going to be in this game at that point.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
All right, so Unity looking to go for a high ground push of their own. They want to even out these racks in the mid lane. It's ambitious. Tidehunter coming back in 3 seconds. Still got a big cooldown on his Ravage, so they can at least get some push done. But Drow Ranger, she's starting to hit quite hard. She's got herself a little bit of lifesteal now with that Morbid Mask. This is I mean, I don't want to say stalemate because I think there's just a lot of room to grow on both sides, but it feels like no one's really gaining a sizable, complete advantage here. Mongolz, they still got it in terms of numbers, but in terms of momentum, I think they're just starting to trickle off a little bit.
Yeah, Dire just do not have the push, right? Like, you look at this team, and Timbersaw is always going to kind of weaken your draft when it comes to, like, tower pushing and actually taking objectives. And you look at the Drow lineup with the Clinks, very easy to do, so... oh, they're peeking. Just making sure anyone's hiding in the pit right now. Roshan won't be hiding there for at least 30 more seconds. We'll find out exactly when that will be at said time, but they can just keep winning these fights. It's going to be one of these, like, you know how last game... Was that game 1 where it was, like, the crazy finish, or was that game 2? You don't even remember
game
either,
1.
do you?
No,
Yeah,
it was game 1. The game 2 was a stomp. Sorry, I'm trying to manage
yeah.
Skype conversations and whatnot, but...
Oh, boo-hoo.
No, I I'm working.
Damn admins, honestly. No, basically, like, the same way that they just kind of, like, kept pushing, and then they just, like, GG'd because it was over, even though, like, you know, their throne was dead. That's kind of what Mongolz are like right now. Like, it might just get to a point where they all just die in the Warriors gaming base and just, like, call GG because they have to keep ramming themselves into this brick wall of Morphling and Timber and Void.
Well, we've got the Radiant kind of grouping up, resetting. I think Roshan's going to be a real hot contest. You get a nice little Aegis there on the Drow Ranger and the Clinks, then you're able to just start throwing bodies in the high ground and see what you can do, whereas if Unity are able to go through and have a terrific fight, then Morphling might just continue to scale out of control.
Radiant's middle
Peacefully
tower
now done
is
on our
under
Drow.
attack.
Interesting build this game, too. Not going for, like, any sort of egg and stuff or anything like that.
Here we go. That's going to be big. These racks could get evened up very shortly, and that's going to mean that Radiant lose their much-needed racks advantage in the mid lane. His Retribution, he's starting to do a lot of damage. He's hitting quite hard. He's got like almost 400 damage a pop.
Oh, it's these damn shout, like any stats carry is so good, and just like casual ultimate over just making these disruption illusions so good.
Oh yeah. All right.
Now the bottom tower too.
has fallen.
I mean, these racks, they're not going to get focused down just yet. Everyone kind of splitting their attention. But Dire, they're not really full backing yet. They're kind of fake backing, ready to go back on through and get a
Radiant's
full
bottom barracks are
set
under
of racks. At
attack.
least a couple of melee racks is what they need.
Look how insane this is. That's one disruption bottom. Can they even kill them? They have to glyph. It's a disruption. Oh, what a hero. Honestly, guys. You see why Shadow Demon gets picked? If you ever need to know, it's because he gives 75% damage to illusions.
And
Look at this. They're just going in
oh,
again.
I heard a Ravage. We got tentacles here. There is going to be another Ravage coming up if they need it. They got the Refresher Orb coming back in. Nana, Timber Chain misses to get the Yules off. He's trying to buy himself some time. He
Yeah,
gets
but your
orchided up.
base.
He gets slapped up. Speaking of, yeah, the base is killed, but so is your Tidehunter, or rather your Timbersaw. And now there's going to be, I hear a relocate somewhere. We've got a Wisp coming back on in. Meanwhile, okay, we got a Chrono. Fighting outside the Chrono. They want to go for the Wisp. They will be able to do so, and that means no one getting dragged back in. No one getting saved. They bring in Ajit, able to do so much damage. Just snipe with the GG, but another Tidehunter Ravage comes out. They are going to have a gem on the deck. Ajit in some serious trouble, hops back to the Replicate, and that's going to be the end of the fight here. Gem picked up by the Tidehunter. It costs them 2 Ravages and a lane of racks. Lane and a half of racks, but they are able to stop the push eventually.
Even so, though, just like Timber's gonna be back just fine because he's his Bloodstone. Now he's even gonna buy boots of travel too, and there's plenty of gold for a buyback here on our Faces Void as well. That is just good objective gaming from Warriors Gaming, I would say. And taking down 2 melee, so now they have the Rax advantage. Fortunately, that tower. Seriously, if I think that tower wasn't top, I think Morphling just would have went all out for Megas.
Dude, I can't get over Morphling's cosmetics making him look like a mess.
He kind of is a hot mess right now, honestly, but God, disruption is just so insane.
Oh, alright. Alright, there's a Manta just saying, like, screw you, Drow. Still gets silenced up, but that's actually going to be a shotgun going right back on through. She's able to dodge it out with her own Manta. But now we've just got a fight of the archers here as Radiant not want to giving up any more advantage. Meanwhile, Timbersaw finally finding a little space for himself. He's got those 4 little bloodstone charges, but that's not going to stop his heart of gold. As for Roshan, oh, that's going to be a big Roche. Dire finds it out first. They should be able to take it so quickly.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't use disruption illusions here. This will be a lot faster, but still going to be just fine. No real concern. And I don't think the Radiant are going to be there in time. They have some smokes stacked up here on proxy.
Oh, I mean, the Radiant, they're just playing defense right now. That's what they have to do. They can't lose any more objectives here. But at the cost of what? At the cost of Morphling for the second life. He frees up a slot. He knows it's going down. We got Aegis, we got Cheese. That's going to be a second life for Morphling. Cheese gobbled up by the Faceless Void. This is where it gets real tough for Mongolz. They've got themselves a kill advantage. Like, hell, they had themselves a net worth advantage until like a minute ago, but it's all going to come down to, can you keep your structures alive? And I don't think you can against the onslaught of Morphling disrupted illusions.
They just need to find that better timing, like the first chance, right? The double Ravage. There's always the potential that it could happen. You can never really sleep on that one. So double Ravage into just a single Clinks, right? Like if Morphling screws up once with any of his survivability spells and items, then it could just be the end of the game. Of course, it has happened twice, I suppose. So if he screws up twice, you know, the buyback play, the options are still there for Mongolz, but it's going to be hard.
All right, yeah, I think we're coming down to the final countdown. The Hail Marys gonna come through. Now we've got Morphlings, so many Morphlings. It's a tsunami up in here, and
and they can like self-replicate too up the Shadow Demon. Like, come on, so good.
Is there like a tornado alarm here? I don't know what's going on. Either way, we're going to have a Ravage going down as Tidehunter goes for the refresher. We'll be able to land 2 in a row. Faceless Void eats up the cheese. They are able to get down. Oh, golly, this looks hurtful. That's going to be a godlike streak up from the Morphling. He's still up. He's still fighting. There will be some hits from that Drow Ranger as they're looking for more. Okay, they're going to go be able to break this final lane of racks, and this could be GG here after a long, well-fought series. That's going to be the GG coming out. Well played from Warriors Gaming Unity. Able to go and secure themselves a 2-1 victory in this best of 3. Any final thoughts, Mott Pax?
I mean, this is what we talked about, like the ease of execution kind of on the Mongol side, where they had this Drow lineup that was going to be able to push in, get objectives, and it was going to come down to some pretty solid skirting around the map from the side of Warriors Gaming with this Morphling, this Timbersaw early. Timber not having a very good time. Overall, during this game, had a rough start, had a rough mid game, but able to bring it on back, create that space for Ajit, and he came in and carried 13, 1, and 10. And I think that kind of reflects how this whole day went. It did kind of seem like Warriors Gaming were playing a little bit crisper.
Yeah, I mean, I think our slightly flimsy Timbersaw, he made up for it with that Invoker game too. That was just a pleasure to watch, but definitely some crazy play come out of these teams. Looking forward to watching them further. I believe, I'm not sure if this is upper or lower bracket, I don't have my brackets in front of me, but I believe Mongolz drop down, Warriors Gaming move on in the upper bracket. So that's going to be it for us today. Our Moonduck casters are going to tap out of Mr. Cat. There's only so much we can take. Mr. Cat is too awesome for one team to enjoy for more than 6 games in a row. So we will see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, same casters, same channel.
But don't go anywhere.
Just sit here for 24 hours.
No, because there's What the Duck.
Oh, that's right. That's
so don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
There's totally going to be What the Duck.
Oh, I think so. Okay. Yeah, y'all sit tight. The channel will go offline, but we'll be back soon. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Annie. That's Mott Pax. We'll play you out with some music. Enjoy, guys.